I was a studious girl, and the acquisition of knowledge has been a passion with me during my whole life, one which has not lost its charm to the present day. In this respect, I was quite different from my sister Bernice. She was one of the most beautiful girls I ever saw. The vision of her loveliness at that time can never be effaced from remembrance. Like a striking picture once seen, it is stamped upon memory's page forever. She married in her 18th year. She was betrothed to Prince Laud, a grandchild of Kamehameha the Great, but when Mr. Charles R. Bishop pressed his suit, my sister smiled on him, and they were married. It was a happy marriage. When Mr. and Mrs. Bishop were first married, they established their modest home at the termination of the beautiful Nu'uanu Valley, directly opposite the tombs of the Hawaiian monarchs. They then began housekeeping in a small house on Alakea Street, near the site of the present Masonic Temple. At this time I was still living with Paki and Konya, and the house now standing and known as the Arlington Hotel was being erected by the chief for his residence. It was completed in 1851, and occupied by Paki until 1855, when he died. Then my sister and her husband moved to that residence, which still remained my home. It was there that the years of my girlhood were passed, after school days were over, and the pleasant company we often had in that house will never cease to give interest to the spot. Mr. Bishop was a popular and hospitable man, and his wife was as good as she was beautiful. The king, Kamehameha IV, Alexander Liholiho, would often appear informally at our doors with some of his friends. The evening would be passed in improvised dances, and the company always grew larger when it became known that we were thus enjoying ourselves. Sometimes we would all adjourn to the house of some friend or neighbor for whom we had reason to expect like hospitality, and the night would be half gone ere we noticed the flight of time. It was now that the young man who subsequently became my husband first became specially interested in me, and I in him, although we had been very near neighbors during our school days, and we had seen each other more than once. A Mr. and Mrs. Johnston, a married couple of rather advanced age, established a day school for children of both sexes in the house next to that of Mr. Cook. Their lot was separated from ours by a high fence of adobe, or sun-baked brick. The boys used to climb the fence on their side for the purpose of looking at the royal children, and amongst these curious urchins was John O'Dominus.